guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are talking about the best indie brands. Indie is short for independent, so these are all independently owned indie brands and these are the best ones in my personal humble opinion. So I love a lot of indie brands, but not all of them are the best, right? There's a lot of indie brands that there is something from their line that is amazing to me, but in this video, these are going to be brands where it is every single thing I have ever tried has been a smash hit, right? No, nothing was like, well, normally they're good. This one kind of fell off a little bit. Nope, we're not including those. The ones we're talking about today are only the ones that everything has been amazing that I have at least tried. I can't try everything, of course, but in my collection. So if you are interested in what brands are the top of the list right now, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, I hope you will consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe, and I would love to have you back again on the channel. I love chatting with you guys in the comments, and I am going to be doing a giveaway also in this video because we hit 600 subscribers on the channel. Thank you so much if you're one of the people who subscribed so far, and yeah, I will have details at the end of the video about what you can win and how you can enter and all of that, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and get into the top indie brands. So I've got 5 indie brands to talk about today. They are not ranked, they are in any particular order, and the first one we're going to talk about is Sugar Drizzle. So I don't own every single palette, product, item that each and every one of these indie brands owns. That would be madness. I am going to talk about a few from each brand that I do own and that I have thoroughly enjoyed, and that's why they're even in this video, in my opinion, that they are the best of the best when it comes to indie brands. So the first palette I ever purchased from Sugar Drizzle was this one, the Pickle palette. I believe I saw Teresa is Dead talking about it, and I honestly just thought it was hilarious, right? That's part of what I love about this brand is their theming. They're just really funny. And then I got it and was like, well, this is interesting, green and pink. And then when I started playing with the formula, I realized, oh my goodness, they have amazing duo and multi-chromes. Hopefully you can see the shift there on this one. Dill Pickles from this palette. Then I'm like, what is this? It's yellow, but it's pink, but it's green, and like, how cool, right? And paired with just like fun names and fun packaging. So that was my first purchase, and I was like, okay, you've got my attention, you've got my attention. And then I was really sold when I got this one. I will leave link to video I have on my channel using this further in depth, and any other videos from any of these brands where I'm doing actual looks if you would like to see them more in depth. This one, you might be able to tell, is pretty well used. It's a little messy, but the shimmer formula is, to me, what makes this brand one of the top indie brands currently right now. The mattes are good, like there's nothing wrong with them, but oh my goodness. So soon after that, I got the Trick Roar Treat. Again, just like punny names and things, right? But paired with just this stellar shimmer formula, this like smooth, they have a smooth formula that's like really like there's a flip to it, like this orange one, and then they have that kind of more like putty feeling formula too. Here's 2 of them right next to each other from this Trick Roar Treat. This green is out of this world, and I mean this orange too. They're color stories, guys. Like, I wouldn't think to put some of this stuff together, and some of it when I've seen it I've been like, I don't know about that color story, but then for the things that I have ended up purchasing, I'm like, oh, these actually look amazing together. It's really nice quality. I also went back and got, after owning all of those, the original Sugar Drizzle, the OG, which is another all shimmer. If you're somebody that's not into all shimmer palettes, you might not like this company as much, but they do have some that have both a mix of mattes and shimmers that I'd recommend you look at if you're not into having all shimmer looks or companion palettes where you need mattes to go with it. This one is the Sugar Dreams palette. If you want something that's a bit lighter to go more pastel, again, you can probably see I've dipped into some of these quite a bit. They are well loved, but again, The whole point of this video is that, in my opinion, these are the best of the best and my most loved palettes. And then we have the MILF palette. Again, just stinking hilarious. Man, I love frogs. These are amazing. And it's not just eyeshadow that they do, guys. They have other stuff too. If you're like, I cannot have one more eyeshadow palette in my collection. This whole video isn't just all eyeshadow palettes, albeit I will admit it is mostly eyeshadow palettes. Those are all the ones I own from Sugar Drizzle. I also want to shout out their multi-chrome liners. I have 3 of them here in Rosemary Beetle, Crowned Wood Nymph, and Cuckoo Wasp. Is that how you say that? Cuckoo? I said it so many times now, I'm not sure. So I'm going to swatch those out on my hand just to show you as well, because these are the best liquid multi-chrome liners that I have found. And the shift is very visible and very strong on them. And I love pairing them with my looks. I really do. And I've had them a while and they're still very pigmented. They haven't dried out. They're not chunky. Those are some of the problems I've had with liquid multi-chrome liners that I've gotten from other brands in the past. And the brush tip applicator is very, very nice as well. But here are the 3 colors, the 3 shades that you can get from Sugar Drizzle. And I'm going to move my hand around a little bit. Hopefully you can see right there, like the shift, especially on that top one. But bottom one is like blue to green. The top one is like an orangey yellow to pink. And the middle one is kind of, I think, the hardest to see, but it's kind of like blue, pink, purple. But those are just fantastic. I can't say enough things about Sugar Drizzle that are so positive. Next up, I want to talk about Adept Cosmetics, and I may possibly have the most of this brand from anything. So we're going to look at a few. The first thing that I bought from Adept, I believe, was the Plain Jane palette. And I did not get the remastered one. I have the original. It looks like this. They do sell a remastered one. It's actually on sale right now for Labor Day weekend. If you hop on there today, the day I'm uploading this, it's still for sale on their website, the remastered version, which is slightly different. I think some of the shades are different, but my goodness, this is my favorite shimmer formula in any brand, period, in my entire collection. So if that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. I'm just gonna swatch a few on my fingers here for you to be able to see like just the magic and what I'm talking about in these. These are all shifty, fun shades. Like this one's blue, pink, purple. This one is a very sheer, like a topper base with a blue to pink. This one is like a white to a pink, which you might think is kind of more of a basic traditional, like we've seen it, been there, done that. But I'm telling you, this formula is not like other things. It's not. It's supreme. It really is. I mean, look at those swatches. It's supreme. It's lovely. Much like Sugar Drizzle though, I will say some of these palettes, like this Plain Jane, are all shimmer. So there are some I would recommend more than others if you are not looking for an all shimmer palette. And I do have stuff other than palettes, guys, from this brand that are superb. So if you want something that's not a palette, just jump forward like a minute and check those out. This one I believe you can't get right now, but I think there's talk of it coming back. This is the Arrow inspired palette. Here's an example of one that has mattes included. This whole bottom row is matte with the shimmers. That is another phenomenal one. I mean, look at this jewel toned goodness and the shift. Do you see how it shifts from like that blue to green to that dark purple? Oh, it's magnificent. It's so stunning. And they're pretty opaque. I mean, come on. You can see that shift, right? It's not like a subtle, I don't know, I can't see the shift. Is it a multi-chrome? Is it a duochrome? It's there. It's prominently there. The other limited edition one that I have, just to shout it out in case you have it, to remind you to bring it out of your collection, is the Codan palette. This one, I have a ranking of all my Adept palettes. If you're interested, I'll leave that linked. This one's my least favorite just because of the color story, but the quality is phenomenal, just like everything else. So if you have it, bust it out, bring it out, use what you paid for. We've got the Ninhydrin, I think was my second or third that I bought from them. That is mostly shimmers, but we do have a matte here and a matte here that pair really nicely with these. Same formula, same amazing, amazing shimmers. It's just really, guys, nothing I have seen before in other brands hasn't been touched, let alone surpassed by anything. Oh man, I'm realizing how many limited editions I have now. I'm sorry about that. House of L, amazing, amazing, amazing. Zor-El is my favorite multi-chrome, I think, in my entire collection. It is this black-based, beautiful color that is yellow, that is orange, that is kind of red, like it's got green in it. It's this one right here. See how it's like darker there for sure, and then you get this like flip on it. Oh, it's so pretty. Just this entire brand has my heart. We cannot forget the Heather Austin collab. I'm about to do soon a video that's talking all about fall palettes to give you guys some inspiration for fall themed stuff. This one definitely falls in that category. Austin is one of my favorites in this palette. It's like really light, almost white looking, but it's got this kind of like minty green in it. I'm running out of places to swatch, you guys. Look how pretty. So just like brightening for the inner corner. I just love, love, love everything about this brand. And then the last eyeshadow palette from that brand I'll talk about is the Amunet, I think is how you say it, Amunet New. Here it is. This one's kind of nice for fall too, a little bit of like grunginess in there, maybe even into winter for that one. If you have it, bring it out. So they also have, that I want to mention before I move on to the next brand, these amazing face palettes. I'm using the bronzer from the Gianna palette today. I'll actually have one of these in my giveaway at the end of the video for you guys, but this one has a bronzer and 2 highlighters. This is such a smoothing formula. I feel like it's not picking up, like it's almost washing out a little bit on camera. I do my makeup like for real life, you know, not just for camera. So if I were doing it just for camera, I might go heavier. So sorry if it's not showing up very well here, but it is just a very nice, natural, slightly cool toned leaning bronzer. Oh, it's so nice, works so well for my fair skin. Then we've got Stella, which is some blushes. They're glowy blushes and a highlighter. And then we've also got Valentina, which is also different shades of all blushes. So if you like a blush palette, like a glowy blush, you can probably see the sheen on that. These might be for you. They're pretty affordable too. I will say I wish that they would come out with these in singles so that you, like if you just wanted a bronzer, for example, you weren't forced to get 2 highlighters with it. That's just me personally. But maybe in the future we'll see that they're amazing quality. And then I'm going to end with this one, Ketracel White. This one was limited edition, but it is Star Trek themed and it has my heart. This cream highlighter formula, nothing else like it in my collection. And these were the first like hollow chromes that I ever tried. And I mean, can you guys see the color and the shift? And oh, it's just so special. That's the one word I would use to describe this brand, is special. It's unique. It's just something that not a lot of people have, and it's so high quality. Really highly recommend. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next brand. This is, sorry, just ran into my desk. We're gonna go to the next brand. This is brand number 3 out of 5, and this is Menagerie Cosmetics. Now I only have, oh, I do have one other thing. Hold, please, hold. I was gonna say I've only tried the eyeshadows, but that's a lie. So I pulled something else to talk about too. So I have this magnetic palette that's so nice and leather feeling. They sell these in singles if you like singles, or if you want to mix and match, you like magnetic palettes. This is actually their Whale Song palette, but in single form. They had said they were discontinuing it and the palette was out of stock. I didn't realize they were going to do one last restock. So I started collecting the singles, and by the time I could get this one, it kept selling out. They switched to circle pans. So it looks a little wonky, but you know, the colors are all there. That's the Whale Song palette in single form. And then they had some kind of deal where if I bought a certain amount of singles, this was included with it. This really nice heavy duty magnetic palette, so that's amazing. I also have the Flight Club from Menagerie. You know what too? I don't know where it is, but the Arthurine blush palette, I know they're discontinuing. The blushes are really good. If you've never tried the blushes, I'll leave like a little insert of that here. The next one is the Flight Club. If you know me, you know greens and purples are my absolute favorite eyeshadow, and so obviously we had to have this one, right? Now what I like about this formula is the mattes are very like opaque. I hope you can see on my finger just how opaque and pigmented they are. Oh, but they're blendable still. And then the shimmers are just really, really soft but rich. Like look how jewel toned that one is. And they do have like duochromes and things too. Like this one is a little bit almost like, I don't know, you can see in the monitor how it flips, I think, like peachy, pinky. It's just hard to describe, but again, super pigmented, super reflective. And I really like this brand that they have all of the like animal club stuff, like all the animal themed stuff, like Whale palette, Flight Club's bats. And then the last palette I have from them, the Arthurine's a bear. This one, stunning artwork, you guys. Look how beautiful that is. This is the Feral palette. I think this is my favorite, honestly, of all of them. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, and they're really wearable too for every day. I really want, there's some octopus one that I want, the ink something, I can't think of what it is. I really want that one. And I also have this. So I've tried the blush, the eyeshadow palettes, and this is their liquid lipstick. And this is probably the most like opaque black I have in my collection. This is in shade Cricket. Can we just, the packaging's really nice, like matte top, and it is black. I mean, it's dark. It's not gonna be one of those wimpy, you have to build it up and get crusty layers or anything. It's opaque. It's amazing. That's in shade Cricket. So all of that is Menagerie Cosmetics. The fourth indie brand I want to talk about is Blend Bunny Cosmetics. If you've tried any of these brands, by the way, you're probably not going to be surprised because you know the quality. You know the quality. The first palette I purchased from this brand was the Surge palette. I know people love the blends. I'm just not a rainbow palette girly. I'm not, at least not when it comes to like bright primary colors. So I'm sure the quality is great, but it just wasn't my tea. Just wasn't my journey. This was my journey. Grunge. Oh, and we've still got brights, right, that you can play with. This is so good. The shimmer formula has since changed since I purchased mine on this, and it has improved. I have a new palette since then that I can attest to the fact that it has improved. But I don't think this formula is bad. I thought it was good then. So again, this is not like some stuff's good and others were not. Consistency is the key word when it comes to these brands and their excellence. And I really like the fact about this brand that the pastels actually show up, because if you are fair skinned like me, you know that there are pastels that you put on your eyelids and you go, where is it? Where did it go? It's gone, or it's chalky. It just doesn't look good, and you're not gonna get that from this brand. These pastels show up and look like they do in the pan, which is really, really nice. So there's the Surge palette, and I was like, that's amazing. That's great. I really, really like it. And so once I realized that I really liked it, the next palette that I purchased, oh my goodness, this box is giving me trouble. I keep all my palettes in the boxes. Does anybody else like that? Let me know now in the comments. The dollhouse was the next one that I purchased. And this is where it was good before, but it is top tier with this one going forward, I really think. This one's neutral, but it's interesting neutral. We've got some pops of color down here, like we've got purple and we've got some blue, right? And we've got some like mauve-y tones. We've even got some like kind of murky, like, I don't know what I want to call it. It's not greeny, it's not quite browny, it's just a murky, like good fall color. And this is where things really caught my attention. Not only are the mattes still fantastic, but the shimmers really went to another level here. Here's Lace is the name of that one. And this is the kind of shimmer I love, these like transparent based shimmers that you can either make them really like toppery, or you can use like a glitter primer and really make it opaque. And I like shades like that that you can use for highlighter too. The last palette I have to talk about this brand before I talk about a couple other products from them is the All Done Up. This one is my favorite of the three I own, of course. Also probably another one that's gonna be in my fall recommendations video coming up, because I mean, look at these tones right here. Fall, yes. But also there's like some cool tone gray stuff. Again, wonderful shimmers. Again, pastels that actually show up. This is just amazing, amazing quality makeup. This is one I go to a lot for special occasions when I just really want it to look super nice for something special. I know I can rely on this one. The other couple items I want to talk about from Blend Bunny Cosmetics that I have and really, really trust and recommend is the highlighter palette. This is the Noctilucent. And if you're not into colorful highlighters, you're not going to like these. I'm holding it like this so you can hopefully see the shift, that they're not just white, because if I hold it like this, they kind of just look white. I'm trying to give you the angles so that you can see there is like a yellow, a red, a green, a blue, like they're all different colors in here. And then there is this one that is deeper as well. But, oh my goodness. Okay, I'll just show you transient so you can get an idea. Amazing for, of course, highlighters, since that's what it is made to be, but also great for an eyeshadow, an inner corner. Honestly, if you have a shirt like this, some of these look amazing like on the collarbone. If you have not tried that, I would recommend it. It just looks really, really pretty to have like a little bit of a highlighter on the collarbone. I have found I've liked that a lot recently. This is a pretty glittery formula. It's very smooth. It's not like chunky glitter, but it is like a lot of mica in it. So if you don't like something that's shimmery looking, glittery looking, you might not like this. And then the last thing I want to shout out is their brushes. These tiny little detail brushes. I'm missing one because I used it on my sister-in-law when I just did her makeup. You guys have seen that video. I'll leave it linked if you're interested. But these detail brushes, so good. The teensiest, tiniest little details, if you need to like really, really finesse and get in there, these are so, so, so good. They don't shed or anything like that you don't want. Really high quality. The brushes and the ferrules themselves, everything feels amazing. So that is Blend Bunny Cosmetics. And last but not least, we are going to talk about Glaminatrix Cosmetics. So my journey with Glaminatrix Cosmetics started with the You Beauty palette. This was making the rounds. All of my favorite indie YouTubers were talking about it, and I just couldn't see it. I was like, it's expensive as heck. I hadn't really gotten into multi-chromes a ton yet at that point. And shipping was expensive too, was the other reason why it was expensive, because it's an Australian indie brand. And their color story, I was just like, what do I do with this? I don't really know. So I thought about it. Eventually I was like, you know what? I saw enough looks and things that I was like, I'm gonna try it. And I'm so happy I did. This started a long-standing love with Glaminatrix. G'day and Flaming Gala, the two multi-chromes in the palette, are my favorite. I'm gonna swatch them on my knuckles because I'm running out of places to swatch here. They are more sheers, so I know you can't, that one's like kind of goldy. can't really see them too much, but they're sheer like that on the eyes too. But this formula is wonderful, has gotten even better. The metallics are those kind of like sheer toppery shades too. I like this purple one. Oh my goodness, my hand's a mess. This purple one, Chalkers right here. I like that one a lot. This shade Bloody Oath is really, really unique. It's like a really muted, like greeny blue. I don't know how to describe it. Has a navy in here, which I love for liner. I just really, really was open to this brand after trying this one. I loved it so, so much. I think the next one I got maybe was when they did their Sandra Rose mini. So I got the mini. And I love this. I honestly wish they would do more minis. These are the smallest, tiniest pans probably in my whole collection. I know on camera they probably don't look that small, but they're so BB. Like, look at it compared to my head. That'll give you an idea of how small it is. But again, amazing shades. Like, here's Bloom. It's this multi-chrome that is like a green to a purple. See if I can get the shift here for you to show you. Sometimes it's a little bit hard. Oh, it's so pretty. It's like a mermaid, honestly. It's this one right here. It's just like a mermaid. My hand is so colorful right now, but I love it. I love it. So I got that small one, and then they started doing their more recent like format where they had the palettes that are like this size, right? And I've got 3 of them here. I've got the Nocturnal, which I would say if there were any brands that I had like an issue with, like it was this one to start with, but that's because my shades keep breaking. Like the formula just wasn't stable to ship. The quality and the performance is wonderful, but 2 of my shades came broken in this. I'm being careful with it and showing it to you with the plastic on it because it's a little fragile. They replaced them no problem, and I got the new ones in, but I've got 3 of them that have like cracked in the pan, again only after a couple uses. It just was too unstable of a formula, but the performance is really, really, really good still, like for looks. So that's why I still kept this brand in with this video as not having any duds, but I will say if one did have a dud, that's the one. We have the Glamorous palette, and this one looks like this. I'm going to show you some of their shimmers and their newer ones in a minute here because their formula has definitely evolved as well since some of those beginning palettes. I also have the Into the Night palette. I think of the 3 that are in this format, this one's my favorite. I use this one for my Barbie look. Oh, so pretty, so pretty, so pretty. I mean, again, I said I would swatch them for you. So here's After Dark, the silver. Insane. I'm running out of room. Do the silver there on the knuckles. You see it at the top? That is so, so ultra metallic. You could see it from outer space, I'm sure. And then this one, the Nearly Natural, a different format, but my favorite shimmers, I think, from any of their palettes. I used this in part on Jenny, like after the video for her real makeup. Like that was just a trial I filmed for you guys. And she loved this shimmer so much. It's so buttery and smooth. I put it down my thumb there. Hopefully you can see it. This looks like a liquid shadow, like it looks wet, these metallics. That's what I love about this particular palette. I don't think they're like that in all the palettes, but the Nearly Natural one is like that, and it's so nice. And then I also want to shout out their single shadows. They have magnetic palettes and single shadows. I have quite a few. Some of them are colorful. I've got some here. They also have some amazing multi-chromes and duochromes and just regular old shimmers. And then all these that look white, they're not, they're colored. Hopefully you can see, but they're all iridescent. So even though they look white, then when you swatch it, hopefully you are seeing here, it's a little hard to show, but this is like a reddish pinkish one. see if I can show you on my hand here, is the swatch. There it is. See how it's like pinky, a little bit different. They have tons of singles too. My one wish for this brand is that they would get into a retailer so that the shipping wasn't so crazy for people in the US. But just amazing brand. So yeah, guys, those are all 5 of the best indie brands currently, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about these brands in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you think some of these were duds? Are there other brands that you're sleeping on it? These should be included too. There's a few honorable mentions here, okay? So Ensley Cosmetics. I'm not forgetting these brands. It's just that I've only tried like one thing from them, and I don't feel like just trying one thing is enough to say that the whole brand is a hit. You know what I mean? I will say Ensley lip gloss is also my favorite gloss in my collection. Their Rain or Shine. Gourmande Girls is another one that I have only tried the Spooked palette. That's the only one I've tried. So these brands, maybe if I did this as an updated video in the future, could be included, but I've only tried one thing from the brand. Same thing with Salem Cosmetics. I've never tried anything else, so I can't really feel confident telling you that they have hit after hit after hit are amazing when I've only tried one thing. But those are some indie brands that the one thing or the 1 or 2 things I have tried have been really good that I'm planning on continuing to try out and support in the future. So now let's talk about the giveaway, everybody. So I'm doing a giveaway in celebration of the channel hitting 600 subscribers, and I've got all these goodies that somebody is going to win. So I will leave it all in the description for you if you would like to know how to enter. But essentially you need to be publicly subscribed so that I can check and make sure you're subscribed, be 18 or older, like this video, and leave a comment down below. You can say whatever you would like in the comment. Let me know what you think of these brands. Just tell me you want to enter. Talk to me about makeup. Tell me how your day is. It does not matter, whatever you would like. Just make sure you leave a comment. And you will win the following items, and possibly more, because by the time I mail this out, I usually add things. This will be open for 2 weeks, and then I'll use a like a random generator to decide out of all the people who entered who will win. So from Adept Cosmetics, you will win the Ayana palette, which has a bronzer and 2 highlighters in here. So that is the first thing. There's a mix of indie brands in here. I felt like that was only fitting to do indie brands, right? Because we're talking about my favorite indie brands. So you will get something from Adept, one of my absolute favorite indie brands that we talked about in this video. You will get 2 different highlighters from Nomad, and they are both like shimmery highlighters. That this one you could probably use as a highlighter. It's a little peachy. The other one's a little bit deeper, that you, like if you're my skin tone, you might use it more as like a blush topper. But there's 2 shimmery highlighters slash blush toppers from Nomad you will get. And you will get an all day, everyday eyeliner from Melt Cosmetics. This one is in shade 1987, so a pencil liner. And then I have a couple liquid lipsticks from what used to be Unearthly Cosmetics, formerly known as Alien Cosmetics. These are the coolest packaging ever. I have some of these myself. I love so much. Mandy's my favorite color, but you could win Minerva, which the color is this at the bottom. It's a really rich, felt like that would be good for holiday coming up for somebody. And then also Samantha, which is kind of like a pinkier version of the last one I showed you. And then a couple drugstore things like some hard candy little eyeshadow palettes here, just for some looks coming up for you. Yeah, and then whatever else I decide to put in from now till then, you'll get to. But that's the giveaway stuff. That's how you enter. And yeah, good luck to everybody down below. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I know it was a long one, but indie brands are a thing I feel passionate about, if you didn't gather this from this video. And so I was like, I want to talk about all of the makeup I love and give the brands that I think are the best indie brands right now some love. So let me know your favorite indie brand down below. Don't forget to enter the giveaway, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!